Welcome into NBA Now. I am Harrison Graham. It was a wild NBA trade deadline, but that is over, and especially for teams who didn't do a trade, we've got some potential buyout candidates for you guys and fans of teams like the Lakers who did not pull a trigger on a trade. Let's get to these players right now, starting with Evan Turner. He, of course, was sent to Minnesota as a part of that major four-team trade the other night that was centered around Robert Covington to Houston and Clint Capella to Atlanta. Now, Turner is averaging career lows across the board. Minutes, points, assists, whatever it is, he is having a career worst year, mostly because when he was in Atlanta this season, was not getting a lot of minutes, and not surprising, right? Atlanta's not very good. He's a player that needs to be on a contending team and contributing off the bench. Now, it has been a slow decline for Turner over the last 4 seasons. You see from at the top there what he's doing this year, just over 3 points, a couple assists, a couple rebounds. Last year played pretty well for Portland in the playoffs before they sent him to Atlanta in the offseason, but 2016 to 2020, certainly a big decline, at least a significant decline for Evan Turner. Now, the Heat and the Celtics are the two teams that have been linked to the former Ohio State Buckeye and veteran guard / forward. Who needs him more? Type H for Heat, type C for Celtics. Of course, he did play with Boston from 2014 to 16, so there is some familiarity there. I think that would make some sense. The Heat could use another veteran piece as well. Type H for Heat, type C for Celtics. Let me know what you guys think about Evan Turner and where he should go. Now, just because the trade deadline has passed doesn't mean we are done putting NBA videos on the channel, just like this one, doing buyout candidates. Now, the bosses, the higher wigs here at Chat Sports say, things slow down after the trade deadline. Fans lose interest. I tell them that's BS. I know you guys are dedicated all year long. You guys want more NBA videos. We do team-driven stuff around the Golden State Warriors, the Mavericks, the Lakers, some Celtics stuff as well. We want to ramp up our coverage, but you got to subscribe so we can show the bosses, hey, our NBA fans are interested 12 months out of the year, 24/7, 365, 366 this year because it is a leap year. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Just hit that big red button. We'll keep the NBA videos coming for you guys all year long. Next buyout candidate here, and just a reminder, just because they're candidates does not mean they will necessarily get bought out. Now, it's a likelihood for some of these guys. Couple at the end, not as likely. Dion Waiters here. This one's a little bit surprising, but Chris Haynes is reporting that the Grizzlies do not plan to keep Waiters. They will either release him or buy him out. He does have 2 years left on his deal, which is a difference from some of these other guys. So if they buy him out, they will likely have to buy him out pretty significantly in terms of how much they actually pay him. They could just cut him outright, and he would make the entire contract, which Memphis, no surprise, they're trying to build around their young core. They don't need Dion Waiters, who comes with a history of attitude concerns. He fell out of the Heat's rotation this year. This guy freaking took an edible, went on the team flight this year in Miami, and started tripping out. He can be a problem, trust me. Now, there is some talent in there, and he was a part of this 3-team trade centered around Andre Iguodala. Iggy, of course, went to the Heat. That was the highlight of this trade. Dion Waiters, part of this trade as well, heading off to Memphis. Again, the Grizzlies do not plan on keeping him, so he will either get bought out or cut, making him available for every other team in the NBA. Now, today's show is brought to you by our partners, Pro Flowers. Guys, we're running out of time here. Valentine's Day, less than 10 days away. If you have a significant other or even just a mother or daughter or something like that, take advantage of these deals. Chatsports.com/flowers, 15% off flowers and gifts. Lots of sweets like cookies and brownies and stuff like that as well. That's the way I like to go because, hey, then you give them the cookies and they're like, hey, those are delicious, but then you get some as well. Beautiful flowers over at Pro Flowers. Chatsports.com/flowers. That link will get you to the website and give you the opportunity to purchase these for up to or at 15% off. And don't worry, they'll deliver it on Valentine's Day for you guys. You don't have to worry about battling traffic on February 14th. Dion Waiters, over the last 4 years, he's kind of had an interesting career path. Look, the last 3 years he played pretty well for Miami. He fell out of the rotation this year, only played in 3 games for the Heat. Again, a part of that 3-team trade. There's talent in there. We know Dion Waiters is talented. The biggest problem with Dion Waiters is Dion Waiters. He thinks he's LeBron James. He has attitude concerns. He's a role player. The problem is he thinks he's a superstar. That has always been his problem. He takes really bad shots. So, would you want Dion Waiters on your team? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I got to type my N for no, man. He's probably the most talented of this bunch, but he is just a headache to deal with. I am typing my N for no. But let me know if you would want Dion Waiters on your team. Next guy up here, maybe a bit of a surprise. How about Tyler Johnson? Still only 27 years old. Now he's fallen out of luck with the Phoenix Suns, who are building around some other pieces like Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and some of those guys, Kelly Oubre. But I will say this. He did play well with Miami before they sent him to Phoenix about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Not a part of Phoenix's future. His contract runs out at the end of this season. He's playing a career low minutes in terms of in his career. The 16.6 minutes per game are a career low. He's usually playing in the low mid-20s, especially when he was in Miami. He kind of became a breakout player, got paid, and then, well, hasn't quite been the same guy since. But I do think there are opportunities out here if he does get bought out. How about the Los Angeles Lakers? He's not their top choice, but say they swing and miss on a couple of other guys that we'll talk about here in a second. I think he could be a candidate for them. The Denver Nuggets, look, they lost Malik Beasley as a part of that 4-team blockbuster trade that went down a couple of nights ago. He could get some minutes off the bench, help score for them as well. And then a non-contending team, how about the Golden State Warriors? They got 5 roster spots they have to fill. If Tyler Johnson gets bought out, Golden State might be a good opportunity for him to get his career back on track because there are minutes to fill in Golden State. I would not hate that fit at all for Tyler Johnson. Now, who do you guys think will win the NBA Finals? It's not going to be the Warriors this year. They won a bunch recently, but not this season. Who do you think will win the NBA Finals? Certainly a lot of good teams out there. Now, we do have the odds from before the trade deadline. Haven't been updated yet, so these are subject to change. But if you want to bet on NBA title odds, you can do it at BetDSI. Obviously, Lakers, Bucks, Clippers. I think those are the top 3 contenders, so feel free to comment one of those teams in the comments below. And if you want to bet on this or anything other in the NBA, whether it's games, MVP, Rookie of the Year, all of that stuff, chatsports.com/bet. That'll get you to the BetDSI sign-up page. Use that promo code NBA120. Get that 120% deposit bonus. It's the best deal out there. They will give you a 120% deposit bonus up to $500. So you put $500 in, I'm going to give you $600 for free. BetDSI, best deal out there on the internet. Next player here, we got Bismack Biyombo of the Charlotte Hornets. Kind of an under-the-radar candidate here. I think it's a little less likely than some of these other guys we've talked about, but look, he's scoring a career best 7.5 points per game this year for Charlotte. Never been known as an offensive player, more of an energy/defensive guy. Got the bag a few years ago in that offseason, 2016-17, when everybody got paid, because that's when the salary cap skyrocketed and a bunch of average players got paid, like Bismack Biyombo. But he's had a nice little resurgence this year. In less than 20 minutes per game, he's averaging that career-high points per game. His PER is at 16, which is above average. He would draw interest from several teams. Teams need centers, including these 3 teams. The Boston Celtics, who Tom and I talked a lot about on our NBA Live or trade deadline special. Hope you guys joined us for that. The Rockets still need a center after shipping out Clint Capella. And how about the Utah Jazz? Sure, they have Rudy Gobert. They don't really have a backup center. You have Biyombo playing 10 or 15 minutes off your bench. He's a good energy guy. I think he would fit in with the Jazz as well. Shout out your favorite team. I mentioned a lot of you guys probably watched our NBA trade deadline special. We have fans of a lot of teams at Chat Sports, but we like to gauge our audience and see what everybody's favorite team is. My favorite team is the Dallas Mavericks. I do an occasional Mavericks video, but my guy Jimmy Crowther, All Things Mavs, he does most of our Mavs coverage, so check that out on the channel as well. Make sure you're subscribed. Go ahead and shout out your favorite team in the comments section. We will be interactive in there as well. I'll reply to some of you guys also. Now, Tristan Thompson, I thought, could have been a primed buyout candidate for a couple of reasons. One, they were unable to find a trade for him. And 2, the Cavaliers traded for Andre Drummond, so what does Tristan Thompson's role become? That's a bit unclear, but the report from David Aldridge is that it doesn't look like the Cavs are going to buy Tristan Thompson out. Now, maybe that's Tristan Thompson not wanting to agree to a buyout. He is making $18.5 million this year, so get the bag while you can. I certainly respect that. But he's in the last year of his contract, and over half the season is over, so he's already made $9 or $10 million of that. So my thought is you're probably not going to start with Drummond in there. Why not agree to a buyout and go join on with a contending team? But the Cavs are not planning to do that. He's had a nice year for Cleveland, 12 points, 10 boards, 51% from the field. Now, he's probably the most impactful player we've talked about yet, but it does not look like he is going to get bought out, barring a last-minute change. That is the latest report on Thompson, but if he were to become available, several teams would certainly be interested. Now, this is an interesting question. Who will Thompson play for next year? What team will he be on in 2020-2021 season? Type C for Cavs, type E for elsewhere. I'd be surprised if it's the Cavs. If he's back in Cleveland, that means the Andre Drummond experiment probably did not work out. That means that fell flat on its face, and they decided to bring back Tristan Thompson. I'm typing my E for elsewhere. No clue where that's going to be, but I think he will be in a different uniform next season. Now, these are some other players that reportedly are unlikely to get bought out. It doesn't look like these guys are going to get bought out. Obviously, Tristan Thompson, who we talked about. Vince Carter, looks like Atlanta's going to keep him. That's disappointing. I was hoping he would join on with a contending team and try and get a championship in his last season. On Mahinmi, the center for Washington, who's bounced around a little bit. Doesn't look like he is going to get bought out either. E'Twaun Moore, the guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. Looks like he could have been a buyout candidate with his contract, with what New Orleans is trying to do. But the latest there is that he is not going to get bought out. Langston Galloway, the guard for the Pistons, they plan on keeping him as well. So the biggest name here again, Tristan Thompson, who $18.5 million this year. I would have liked a team like Boston or someone to either trade or get him via buyout, but it does not look like he is going to get bought out this after the trade deadline has passed. So Tristan Thompson for the Cavs, not going to be an option. Neither is Vince Carter, Jan Mahinmi, E'Twaun Moore, or Langston Galloway. These guys will not be bought out, barring a last-minute change. I wish Vince Carter would join on with a contending team. A couple of other players to outline. These are not buyout candidates, but players who are available on the market. These three guys got waived after the trade deadline. Tim Frazier waived by Detroit. Trey Burke, a bit of a surprise. Philadelphia let him go, so he is off the market as well. Isaiah Thomas is available as well. He was a part of that Marcus Morris trade, but the Clippers do not plan on keeping him. All of these guys will be officially waived by the end of the day, so they are available for teams to sign. And how about these four players? And Laker fans, listen up, because I think all of these options, except for Joakim Noah, could be realistic. Darren Collison, who is going to work out for the Lakers, I believe. I know J.R. Smith is, but Collison and the Lakers are connected. If he comes out of retirement, I expect him to sign with the Lakers. Jamal Crawford, he maintains that he is still healthy and working out and good to go. 39 years old, but hey, he can still get buckets, so I'll be curious to see if he signs on anywhere. I mentioned J.R. Smith. He's working out for the Lakers. I don't love that fit, but it would not surprise me if he landed in L.A. or somewhere else. And Joakim Noah, he's working out. He's trying to land on with an NBA team as he gets toward the end of his career. As of now, he is still a free agent.